Welcome back to Small Biz Survival. Today I'm in Woodward, Oklahoma, and I'm talking to Jim Mason, who is from Elk City, Oklahoma. And you were just telling me some wonderful things about unmanned aerial systems and how that's developing in western Oklahoma.
Well, unmanned aerial systems has been an area that has been, a lot of people see as being used in the military, but we actually see in the near future that 80% of the money spent in unmanned aerial systems will be in the area of precision agriculture. And so we are preparing our area of the country to be a leader in the area of precision agriculture using unmanned systems, which can be vehicles or it can be aerial vehicles. It can be lots of different things. For example, there are companies that are gearing up to be able to offer spraying of crops by using little small helicopters that are remotely controlled that actually provide a better coverage of pesticide on a crop or fungicide or fertilizer, whichever it is they're doing. We also have another company in Oklahoma that is working on developing technology for monitoring of towers. They do tower inspections, and there's all kinds of antennas and towers, and that's a very dangerous profession, just the nature of it. But by using a UAV, they literally can fly up and inspect every joint, every side of that particular tower using this technology. Unfortunately, the FFA has not yet released the ability to have a commercial business using UAVs. You can do it as a hobbyist under the model aircraft rules if you stay under 200 feet. But some of these towers are much taller than that. And so we anticipate that very shortly the FFA will come out with regulations telling us how we can incorporate UAVs into commercial space. In precision agriculture, we know the day will come when a farmer can actually send a UAV out to inspect his cow herd, and he doesn't even have to leave his living room to do that. We have a farmer here who's handicapped, but he already has an automated tractor. He always has an automated combine. So we are quickly coming to the time when a lot of these labor-intensive type things can be done by machines. It's interesting that we have the ability now to have a robot fly a 747 plane, but we haven't yet developed one that can successfully pick a strawberry off a plant. So there's a lot of work yet to be done, but the area of commercial applications of UAVs is just going to go by leaps and bounds. We're talking about billions of dollars that will be spent in this field, and companies are starting to think about how can I use that to help me. We know that right now farming, we're going to lose about 8% of the farmers that we have right now, which right now our numbers of farmers are only 3% of the population anyway. So the world is going to need 70% more food in the near future to feed our people, but we have fewer and fewer farmers. So they're going to have to work smarter, they're going to have to work with more equipment, and it looks like UAVs will be a way to make it more cost effective, more feasible to be able to do a lot of things that we currently do manually by manual labor. And so at this point, we're looking to see how we can position ourselves to take advantage of that opportunity.
So western Oklahoma has some assets that make it particularly a good spot for this.
Well, there are a number of assets that we have. One of the things is that we're fairly sparsely populated, so you don't have to worry about a UAV failure that might actually injure somebody. At most, you might wipe out a few rows of crop or something like that. But we're finding actually there's a very high safety factor in UAVs. One of our problems is that in order to fly one successfully, it has to be fairly lightweight, and yet it needs to have a power source that lets it stay up as long as possible. Now we know that the ones that the military uses can stay up for literally days, but they're also quite large. So there's kind of a compromise between size and weight. We're constantly working with companies who are looking at manufacture new payloads that weigh less. For example, right now we have all types of different cameras that can, depending upon the size and the weight of the camera, you can stay up longer, you can shoot more footage, you can get more precise pictures. And the day will come when a farmer can actually send a UAV down every row of his crop and determine what kind of pests are there, what the plant looks like, if it needs certain types of things. We'll also be able to test how much fertilizer to use, what kind of fertilizer is needed, and we won't waste money by putting things that aren't needed right now into that site. So some of our more advanced farmers are already putting grids on their, doing a grid system for their farms so that they can actually have a UAV can fly a grid once it's defined. And so those are some of the things we're doing in anticipation that will very soon commercially we'll be able to start using UAVs to do some of these things that will help us grow more food more effectively with less people.
Okay, thank you very much for taking time today.
Happy to do so.